Hey guys, welcome to this unboxing and demo video for the Framemeister XRGB Mini. So here inside we have just kind of like the normal content you'd find, like instruction manual, registration card, warranty and stuff. Here's also a stand to stand the XRGB Mini on. I'm not going to be using it, but it's pretty much like a stand for a Wii or Wii U if you've ever messed with one of those. Nothing really special, just a piece of plastic. This was kind of tough to get out of there, but anyways, now we've got just instead of AAA batteries, any AAA batteries will do. This is just the packaged ones. Inside this white box here on the side, we have the power supply, which is pretty much like any kind of wall adapter you'd expect. Nothing too crazy about it, and product information if you want to see if your wall adapter will work better than this one. And next up is the Framemeister XRGB Mini itself. The XRGB Mini is an upscaler. It takes in any kind of input really, RGB, composite, HDMI. There's one called D7 or D5, I'm not sure what it was, I forgot. But yeah, I've never seen that one. But anyways, it only outputs in HDMI. Next up we have the remote control, and also there's a JP21 adapter that comes with it for AVN inputs. It's pretty much like SCART, except for the pinout is completely different. It's basically like SCART for Japan. So unless you have like Japanese systems that use JP21 connection, it's pretty much a worthless connector. Unless you go like EuroSCART to JP21 converter, then you can use that. But you can also just get a EuroSCART to AVN converter for this. Oh. Like I said, here's the remote control to control the Framemeister itself. Here you can select the type of input that you're using, the type of output, any kind of like filtering or device settings that you want for color and whatnot. Okay, so here we have the front of the XRGB Mini. You have your AV input, your RBG, your standby power input, output link standby lights, your composite and S-video input, your analog inputs basically. And here on the back you have your micro SD card slot, HDMI output, stereo input for this D5 digital input, 2 HDMI inputs, a USB cable, and then 5-volt power. Not sure what the USB is for. Anyways, on the top you have your power button, inputs, menu button, and just select and OK. Basically your remote control buttons on the box itself. And now that we have it out of the box, let's go ahead and get this thing set up and fired up. So go ahead and input my composite input here from my Xbox. And connect my HDMI output as well. Now that input and output are covered, let's go ahead and put some power to this bad boy. Alright, we've got our indicators lighting up and we've got standby power. TV's on, and let's go ahead and fire this thing up. So we've got video coming out, so now we can go into the settings and go ahead and make some changes, except I have no idea what the menu button is because remote control is in Japanese. But we've got a fix for that. On eBay there's a seller that sells overlays for the Framemeister controller, and it'll basically just translate everything into English for you. So it's basically just a peel on or peel off sticker from this little sheet here that you can then go ahead and overlay on top of the remote control. Everything pretty much comes off easily. There's only 2 little tabs that didn't break off. Now you've just got to line things up and kind of press it down. Lining it up as long as you kind of look at what you're doing, it's pretty easy. If you get it off center just a little bit, it's pretty hard to get down. I had to pull it off a couple times, but it's nothing huge. Like, it didn't lose its stickiness or anything, and it sat down on the controller pretty easily. So now that we've got our overlay on there, now we can read what this thing is actually saying. And here you can see all the different display modes and processing modes and inputs and whatnot. So now that we've got our system fired up, we can make some... No, we can't, because now the firmware is in Japanese, so we can't read any of the options here. But no worries, because there's a fix for that as well. So here you just go to like Google or whatever your favorite search is and search Micomsoft Framemeister. That'll take you to the Micomsoft website and product page for the Framemeister. You can identify the QA tab at the top, go 2 tabs to the right, and that's going to be the firmware tab. That'll take you to the firmware page, and then if you just scroll down, it'll take you to the latest update, or latest version of the firmware first. Here you can see 2 different versions of it. Just select version 2. It'll download a zip file, extract that zip file to your desktop, and it will contain a bunch of different folders for the firmware itself, and then the bootloaders for the XRGB Mini to use. Is copy this whole folder structure over to a micro SD card, just copying and pasting like you normally would anything else. And you're done with that portion of it, so you can go ahead and take out the SD card from your computer and get it ready to put into the XRGB Mini. Here, just slide it right into the XRGB Mini. Make sure that the XRGB Mini doesn't have power applied to it when you do this, because as soon as you apply power to it and the SD card's inside of it, it'll go ahead and start the firmware update. I don't know exactly why you need to do this, I've just read it in a few different places, but also make sure you have your TV output connected to the XRGB Mini before applying power. So once you've got those 2 things done, apply power, and as soon as you do that, like I said, the firmware will start updating. You can tell it's actually working if you see these 2 lights nippling back and forth, and then eventually the other 4 lights will light up. Pretty much takes about 35-45 seconds for this whole process to work. Okay, once it goes back to standby power, you are done updating the firmware and you are good to go. So now we can go back into the this game menu itself, and once we bring up the menu, now things should be a whole lot better. So now we can actually see what's going on. Here you can see the different modes. Output mode, HDMI, DVI output, image mode, aspect ratio, screen set, color set, visual set, zoom set, sync set, HDMI set, audio set, options, special, and data status. And yeah, pretty much the only thing we're concerned about here is making sure the output is set for HDMI to output to 1080p. I just wanted to test it out to see how well the upscaler worked. So here's some footage that I captured using the Elgato of M.U.S.H.A running on the Xbox. On the left you have composite signal running through the XRGB Mini upscaled to 1080p, and on the right it's just raw AV capture from the Elgato. And I actually thought that the composite from the Elgato looked a whole lot better than the XRGB Mini, so it's kind of baffled at first. So I tried out a couple more games, and I figured maybe it's just a difference between the scaling. Like, maybe 480p looked a lot worse than 1080p, but in reality the 480p also looked better than the 1080p. So I don't know what I was doing wrong, but then it kind of dawned on me, I'm freaking using composite cables. Alright, so here in my left hand is an official Nintendo composite cable, and my right hand is a Nintendo SCART cable that I got off of eBay from a seller named retro_console_accessories. I'll put a link down in the description, but she makes all of her own SCART cables, and they're all high quality. She also makes a Euro SCART to Framemeister AVN adapter, which I have here in my left hand. It has a sync stripper in it, and there you can see it's connected to the Super Nintendo SCART cable. And I'll go over how to actually plug this into the Framemeister here in a minute. And just to reiterate, this is the JP21 adapter that comes with the Framemeister. It looks like SCART, but it isn't SCART, so don't run the 2 together because they're pinned differently and you might mess up your hardware. Alright, so here's my Super Nintendo connected to the RGB Mini via composite. Go ahead and unplug the power, then unplug the composite cables. And unplug the composite cables from the Super Nintendo, and get rid of them. So here we have the Euro-SCART to Framemeister AV-in adapter. Plug the AV-in port into the Framemeister. So now you'll have female in for a wall adapter, plug that into it. You have the male in coming from the adapter, go ahead and plug that into the Framemeister XRGB Mini. And now you've completed the power circuit for the sync stripper and the XRGB Mini. So here you have the Nintendo SCART cable, go ahead and plug that into the Super Nintendo. And you've got the male in for the SCART, just go ahead and plug it into the adapter in, which is female in. And now you're all set up to run RGB. Okay, now that we got that little snafu all figured out, I figured I'd do a SCART to composite comparison, both upscaled to 1080p, just so you can see how big a difference the cables can make. So here, just in the title screen, you can see on the left-hand side, the SCART is so much clearer than the composite, although I still do have to kind of tweak with the color palette. But here again, you can just see the clarity that is, like, the SCART cables. Like, playing A Link to the Past kind of feels like playing a brand new game, because I just keep searching for new details that I never saw because they got lost in the composite. Here I'm trying to do full screen SCART so that you can see kind of the difference. Like, look how clear this is. And I'll switch back to composite here so that you can see kind of how the textures get a little bit blurry. And just some of the details within Link also kind of get lost. And go back to SCART here so we can see that again. I just can't get over like how good this looks. And this is what I was looking for when I pulled out the Framemeister and kind of started messing with the RGB inputs. And yeah, I don't know why I just got stuck on using composite cables, but yeah, once I figured out that SCART's the way to go, yeah, you can see the results that make the Framemeister, I guess, worth the ticket. And this one's kind of a striking one. You can just see how clear the SCART is yet again. That's the SCART with the Legend of Zelda. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other games. Yeah guys, so that is my unboxing slash setup slash overview slash demo video for the Framemeister XRGB Mini. Jeez, that's a mouthful. Yeah, I'm not going to do a review, but I will kind of just say my impression of it is, at first I didn't like it, but I really love this thing now. It's pretty expensive, so I think you've got to be into retro gaming to really want this. But I will say that I would probably advise everyone to, like, if you use composite for video games and stuff, try to play through SCART cables. Like, find some old PVM or BVM monitor that you can connect a SCART cable to, because that's going to be the best way that you can enjoy your old retro games. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're having a great weekend. Take it easy. Later.